Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very sorry it's been a bit of a while since I filmed, but I have no excuses actually. It's completely and utterly my fault. So let's just crack on with the video. So I wanted to do a little video about finding yourself in recovery, which is something that I've recently been sort of understanding and trying to get on board with, because over the past sort of 2 years I've been in recovery, it's been a bit, I felt naked almost, so I've just been, it's been quite difficult to sort of try and fill the spot of anorexia, because that was quite a lot of my brain capacity. So I just thought I would talk a bit about my sort of experience with finding who I really am after recovery, and maybe some things that might help you. My eating disorder started when I was about 14, so for me I can sort of reflect on who I was before that and think what things were interested in then that I still am now, because it's been about 3 years, so I can sort of look back and think, okay, some things might have changed. That happens, we grow up, we get older, we are interested in different things, but at the end of the day I'm still this same person as when I was sort of 14, so I've got to look at what I really enjoyed then, because I wasn't sort of diseased with anorexia. I didn't have that in me. It was all very pure and what I really enjoyed doing. I appreciate that some people had issues with eating disorders as long as they can remember, which honestly it breaks my heart when I hear that. But you really do have to sort of just dig deep to try and find who you really are. And that's the same with if you did know what you were like before and what your hobbies and interests. You have grown as a person, so it is quite important to find new things that you're interested in and fill that gap of anorexia, as I said, or not anorexia particularly, but whatever sort of eating disorder you had. You've got to fill that gap, because that took up so much brain capacity and time, to be honest. So when I was sort of younger, I was really into football, and I was since a young age. I watched lots of football, I played lots of football, and I always, when I was in recovery and I had therapy sessions, they're like, what do you enjoy? I was like, I was a sporty one, I love football, that was it. But actually, when I look back in sort of a healthier position, I think I was interested in so much more than that. I loved watching TV. That's what I did most of the time. I remember when I was about 14, I spent my whole summer holidays sat inside pretty much watching Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars on Netflix. So I was really into sort of TV and stuff. I really enjoyed music. I loved learning languages. I was quite nerdy. I love maths. It's changed a lot since I do A-level maths. I don't, but you sort of got to look back and think you're so much more than maybe if you were a sporty one and you enjoyed a sport, because without that you can cope. You do have other interests. So I really think if you didn't do sports that much when you were younger, then think, why do I think I want to do sport now? If you are the one that exercise for compensation, that sort of thing, think, why do I want to do that now? When I was younger, I wasn't sporty, I didn't really enjoy that. So maybe that's just something to think about. So the ways I found sort of new interests was not by looking up a list of what can I get into on the internet, because I remember scrolling, I did that, and I looked for, I was like, this is nothing interesting to me at all. Just go, nope. So the first thing that I really got into, and I think everyone has a bit in them that is interested in sort of social issues and sort of the things like racism and homophobia and transphobia, and all of that is really, really fascinating. Being an advocate for that is such a good thing to do. It's really interesting. It's quite a good distraction from your own problems, to look at other people's problems. No, but it is a good distraction, and it's something that is really good for the world, because the more people that educate themselves can sort of share their knowledge, become an advocate for whatever they're interested in. So the first sort of step I'd give you in that is looking at the I Weigh podcast by Jamila Jamil. She is an absolute god of a woman. Absolutely incredible. The things that she does are amazing. So I'd really check that out, because that's really been a huge part of my recovery. It's been listening to her podcast and really finding out new things, because it sort of expands your world. and makes you realise it's bigger than your little sort of bubble of eating disorder. Is like, life's so much more than the food you eat and the exercise you do. Like, the world is a huge place and there's so many things going on. It's a real eye-opener to all of that. The other thing that I'd say is quite interesting for me is music. Like, I absolutely loved music when I was younger. I played piano, but that was one of those, like, I was young and I played piano and I played a few chords at a concert, like a little concert in a tiny theatre sort of thing. So it wasn't like I was amazing, I wasn't like huge into music. I just like listened to it and singing in the car and things like that. So I started listening to more music recently and I love it. I listen to music so much, I absolutely love it. And I thought I'd sort of try my hand at playing the guitar and doing a bit of singing with that, which I've really enjoyed. But the thing is, like, even if you try things and you don't like them, that's fine. Try something else. And if you maybe don't have the money to buy yourself an instrument, maybe just singing a bit. You can do online sort of vocal things. So or even like editing on SoundCloud, that sort of thing. Music editing the music is a great way of sort of expression, writing songs. It's so brilliant. And I guess on like getting creative, I'm not really very artistic, but if maybe you enjoy doing art, maybe just doing a bit of that, drawing, that can be quite good mindfulness and distracting and become a bit of a hobby, because it is important to have hobbies, it really is. Another thing I was going to say is like TV and Netflix. I don't know if it can be classed as a hobby, but I do because I do spend a lot of time doing it. But getting into a series has been really helpful for me. I love having a series to sort of get my teeth into, get my brain away from the world a bit, and it's quite a healthy thing to do, is sitting down watching TV. Maybe it's with your family or your friends. It can be quite a sociable thing, even though you're quiet throughout the whole thing, and it's a lovely way to sort of spend time and really get into something. So that's something I would highly recommend, is Netflix or TV or whatever you watch, because that was something I used to love. And if you don't like TV, Netflix films or any of that sort of stuff, then maybe that's I don't know anyone that's like that, so maybe try it. Maybe you're not watching the right thing or whatever, but there you are. There was one more thing that I was going to suggest. Fashion is a lovely way of like expressing yourself, finding out who you are a bit, because, well, I'm not homeless, even though I dress like a homeless person. Actually, I do look this is a very lovely sort of jumper, but from the waist downwards I'm dressed like a homeless person, and you've probably recognised that from other videos, but I'm not homeless. But fashion is a great way of like expressing yourself, because everyone wears clothes, hopefully. So that's quite a lovely way, just maybe making a Pinterest board and finding out a bit more who you are and trying different looks and trying different things. So I think that's a great way of exploring yourself as well. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it's made sense, and goodbye.